At this time, we'll convene our full board of control meeting for May 5th, 2021. The first item of business is a pledge of allegiance by Mr. Russell Thompson, Superintendent of Pineville Schools.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Russ. At this point in time, we'll have a reflection shared with us from Scott Hawkins, the superintendent at Woodford County Schools.
Thank you, Mr. Billings. I'm sure most all of you, if not all of us, watched the Kentucky Derby on Saturday. And as I was reading a little bit more about the winner, Medina Spirit, the horse originally sold for $1,000, and the owner today paid $35,000. So it wasn't the traditional bloodlines and expensive payout for a new horse, and yet he wins the Kentucky Derby. And when the trainer talked about it afterwards, it was the little horse just has a big heart. And I thought, that's what we get to see every year with high school sports. We get to see the individual student that maybe is not the most talented, but they work really, really hard, and they become an integral part to a championship team. Or you see the team that maybe wasn't picked to win the district or regional tournament, but they all come together and they play as a unit, and you see them accomplish great things. And so I just was struck that it's so special that we're able to be a part of an organization that supports high school sports, and that we get to witness firsthand those special events, those special accomplishments. I hope we don't ever take that for granted. But I also challenge you as we look to go forward, that we continue to look through a Commonwealth-sized lens as we make decisions, that we don't get sidetracked by individual agendas or some of the noise that's going on the outside, but that we keep our focus on what's the most important thing. And that's about the opportunities and experiences that we're able to provide to our student athletes all across Kentucky. And, I think in some ways too, this organization was the little colt that had a big heart as we have navigated this year. A lot of states still hadn't played anything. And yet we have come together and we have found a way to allow our students to play, to compete, and to win championships. And I think we should be very, very proud of that. So again, I hope that you'll keep that in mind. Now I'm going to shift gears and speak just a minute on a personal note, and to say how much of an honor and a privilege it's been for me to serve on this board. This is the final meeting I will have in my 8-year tenure, and it has truly been special. Some board members I knew when I came on the board, and our relationship has gotten that much stronger, and some of you I didn't know, and yet I consider you all to be dear friends now. Friends that I will continue to cherish and be able to do things with even after the time on the board is gone. And so over these last few months, I've had the opportunity to think about, these are some of the last things that I'm going to get to do in my career, the last time I'm going to do something. And this is the last time I'll be with this group in this kind of format. And it's special. And one thing that makes it so special is this group has always been about doing what's right. You know, Mark Twain famously said, always do right. It will, I've lost the quote now. Always do right. It does something and then it will astonish the rest. It will gratify some and astonish the rest. And this group has always been about doing what's right. And so please keep doing that. Thank you for allowing me to serve. Staff, commissioner, all of our assistant commissioners, thank you all for everything you do. You always make us feel so special. You always get us the information we need. You always do a great job running the championships and providing great opportunities for our kids. So thank you. And it's been a pleasure for me to get to know you over these past 8 years. I'll leave you with one other quote, and I remember this one. And it's from a song out of the musical Wicked. And it is, because I knew you, I have been changed for good. So, thank you.
Thank you, Scott. The next item of business.
Thank you, Scott. I'm sorry. The next item of business is our consent agenda. Item 5.1, February 2021 regular meeting minutes. There's also the January and the February 17th minutes. The chair will entertain a motion to accept those minutes. Motion made by Greg Howard, seconded by Trent Lovett. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed, like sign. That motion carries. The next item of business is to consider items from the work session. The first one is 6.1, the championships review. Item 6.1.1 through item 6.1.11. The recommended motions were just to accept those reports. Chair will take a motion to accept those reports. Motion made by Mark Evans, seconded by Debbie Beekler. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed, like sign. The next item of business is item 6.1.12, the season and championship status for spring softball. The reason we set it aside, we need to approve those semi-state sites.
We did get confirmation that we don't know about the 1 through 8 site just yet because they won't know to this week, but our 9 through 16 site at the university is available and is available to take the other regions if necessary. So we do have a good option there.
The chair will entertain a motion to approve those sites. Moved by Matt Wilhoit, seconded by Scott Hawkins. Is there any discussion on those sites? Any questions?
They have committed, yes. As just this morning, they confirmed it. We'd be their first outside group.
Any further discussions or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed, like sign. That motion carries unanimously. Item 6.1.13, the season and championship status for spring baseball. We need to also approve those semi-state sites.
Mr. Cope, you want to remind us those, I think you mentioned them earlier, but let's do it formally, please.
Yes. Sites 1 to 4 would be Western Kentucky University. Western Kentucky University. 5 through 8 would be Elizabethtown High School. 9 through 12 would be the University of Kentucky, and 13 to 16 would be Morehead State University.
And if I'm correct, you told me that Morehead is just starting to allow groups, so there'll be some fine tuning there, and yes, we'll keep an eye on the 5th through 8th regions.
Is there any discussion? Any questions regarding that? We'll entertain a motion to accept and approve those sites. Motion from Lucy Moore. A second. Second from Greg Howard. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Those opposed, like sign. That motion carries. Item 6.2.2, the results of the football first round survey. The recommended motion. I'm sorry, I missed one. I'm sorry, Kara. Item 6.2.1, golf, the evaluation of the two-year state event participation. The recommended motion is to accept the report and direct staff to bring multiple options to the July Board of Control meeting for review and possible revision, including review of applicable implementation dates. Is there a motion to accept that report? Motion by Debbie Beekler. Is there a second? Second by Marvin Miller. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Those opposed, like sign. That motion carries unanimously. Item 6.2.2, the results of the football first round survey. The recommendation is based on survey response from bylaw 1 designee, change the bracketing for rounds 1 and 2 to pairing sister districts to determine advancers into the third round with no proposed or contemplated change to rounds 3, 4, and 5. Is there a motion to that effect? Motion made by Greg Howard. Is there a second? Second by Larry Cogarn. Is there any discussion?
I would suggest it be done at the end of the 4-year cycle before realignment is take place.
Do you want to make that amendment? Do you want to make that amendment to that, Scott, to that particular motion?
Well, yeah, and that's based on the commissioner asking for a date.
Yeah,
And so-
effective 2023 is what it sounds like he's saying.
There is an amendment to the motion for this realignment to sister districts take place when the realignment takes place in 2023. Is there a second? Seconded by Trent Lovett. Is there any discussion on the amendment?
So what we're saying is that we're gonna now make this 2 years from now?
Be for the 2023 school year, when we do the realignment.
Have you got that?
So in 2 years, we're gonna come back and not revisit, we're just going, well, I won't be here in 2 years, but we're not gonna take another survey because a lot of things could change from 2 years from now. It's gonna be new principals, new coaches, new people. So we're gonna make a decision now that's gonna affect people 2 years from now that may, just like this board changes every year, the dynamics of this could change. So that's just my 2 cents. So when we vote, we're voting on that amendment, not.
We're voting on the amendment to make it effective 2023 with the football realignments in conjunction with the decision we made 2 years ago to try it for 4 years.
So if we vote on this amendment, does that mean, and we vote no, does that mean that we go with the 2/3?
No, you'll go back and then you'll vote on the original motion.
Okay, so we're voting amendment. Okay,
You'll vote on whether you want the original motion to go forward or not. If the original motion doesn't go forward, then what we've done is moot.
well, the amendment first, right?
The amendment first, that is correct.
Okay.
I want to make sure that I
Any
heard
further
that.
discussion?
You explain that clear for us on this side of the room a little bit.
First of all, we've got an amendment to the original motion to actually do what our coaches, 60-some% of our coaches wanted us to do. The amendment was, yes, we'll do that, but we'll do it when we do football realignments in 2023, just as we had originally planned 2 years ago.
So our vote will be,
Our vote would be to go ahead and honor what the coaches want, but we would do that when we actually do our football realignment, as this board originally voted 2 years ago.
President Billings,
Yes.
perhaps some clarity as to the original motion, when the implementation date of that motion would be.
That's correct.
That's what I think we need some clarification on.
Yes, but if the implementation vote fails, someone else can bring up another amendment that says we make it effective immediately. Then that would pass or fail. And then the original motion would have to pass whether we're even going to do it.
Just for a point of clarification for the original motion, what was the implementation date?
There was not one.
There was not one in the original, there was not one in the original motion.
Okay.
The original motion was simply just to approve the survey response, and it's what was submitted on the survey response.
Okay. Thank you.
So what we get is, if this votes, if it happens, then we'll go with the coaches in 2023.
That's correct.
But if we don't, we vote this down, there's the opportunity that we can pick an earlier date.
If we have an amendment and a second and it passes,
And it
we have it.
passes, then we can, yeah.
It's on what Scott amended, right?
It's the first vote is on the amendment of the date, of the short piece that just says we will take it, we will do exactly what we were asked by the coaches. We'll do it in 2023 when we do football realignment. Kirby?
Yes. No, wait, hold on. Am I voting right now? Hello?
Kirby, we're still discussing the amendment.
Okay, got you. I'm hearing. And I think I understand.
Is there any more discussion on the amendment?
Let me try to see if I sort this out and see if Chad agrees. All the first issue, according to the notes here, all the first issue does is insert effective 2023.
That's correct.
You still have to come back and vote on the whole thing together
correct.
with an effective date.
That's correct. If the whole thing, if the original motion fails, then the amendment is moot.
Correct. So
I would
just
agree.
effective 23, does that help you, Chad? I think
Yeah,
that's what
that's where I was trying to, I wanted to make sure that everybody understood.
There's a motion and amendment. Until the amendment is passed and voted on, the motion does not even come back to the table to be voted on.
Absolutely correct.
So the first
It
thing
would
is
have
vote
probably
on
been
the-
less confusing to vote it on the proposal and then come back with.
That's not Robert's Rules of Orders. I'm sorry.
So we're
That's
voting
not,
on the year right now, right?
we're voting on the year. The motion on the floor, the amendment on the floor is that we implement the original motion, if it passes, in 2023, as we originally done as a board 2 years ago.
but we have an opportunity, if it fails, to come up with a different amendment.
You could come up with a date that says 2027 or 2045.
Probably not going to go that far, but
Probably going to outlive me.
no, we won't be worried about that.
The amendment on the floor is that we implement the original motion in 2023 with football realignment. And we will be doing football realignment next spring. So it's not like we're going to be doing it next fall. We'll be doing alignment next spring of 22. So that is the amendment on the floor with a second. Is there any more discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of amending the motion by starting the date of 2023 signify by raising your right hand. Do you have that, or you need a roll call? All those opposed, like sign?
Kirby's hand is up on screen.
My hand's up and I got to turn right now, so it's got to go down and turn the steering wheel.
The motion passes, the amendment passes 9-6. Now we're back to the original motion of actually implementing.
So it would say effective 2023.
Effective
comma.
2023, we will implement what the coaches and their surveys chose to implement. Is there any more discussion on the original motion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by raising your right hand. If you want to do what the coaches want to do.
Marlon raised his hand up here after you declined.
All those opposed, like sign.
Hold on. Go back to it. Ed Marlin, he.
Kirby, you voted in favor,
I voted.
correct?
I voted in favor for what the coaches wanted.
No,
Because
the
it's
same
to
thing,
implement it.
Marlon raised his hand after, and she just asked us to redo it.
Just to be sure the record's clear, Kirby, I know you're driving. Thumbs up. Yep, that's what I thought.
Is
Thank you.
Is there anyone that opposed, raise your right hand. Is there any abstentions? Seeing none, that motion passes unanimously.
15-3 absent. I don't think anything's in the building. Let's double check.
14 to 4. And there's 14 in the bill. 15 to 3.
Yeah, I think it's 15 and 3 absent.
15, 3 absent.
Yeah, 15-0-3.
Yeah, the motion passes 15 unanimous votes, 3 folks that are absent.
12.
Wendy.
So 15
15 to 3.
Do you have any
15,
copies
0,
for me?
3.
You don't? Copies? Oh, I heard your little comment.
The next item of business.
Just a moment. Kirby's I'm talking signal came on. Dan, are you picking him up? Okay. He may be in the process of going in the building. Okay. Thank you. I just saw him light up and thought maybe he was trying to say something.
The next item of business, item 6.2.3, the results of the wrestling weight class survey. The recommendation is based on the survey results to be evaluated again after the 2023 season. The competition rules stipulate 14 classes for boys wrestling, including girls that wrestle in that competition, and the subsequent weight class changes. In addition, for competition exclusivity against girls, that 12 classes be adopted along with the specific weight bounds. Do I have a motion to accept that recommendation? Motion by Mark Evans. I have a second.
Second.
Have a second from Scott Hawkins. Is there any discussion? Greg?
I want to make sure I interpret. So the interpretation is girls are still going to be allowed to wrestle in the boys division and be a girls division also.
That is correct.
Okay.
I think, Mike, as we talked about it, the girls could continue to wrestle with the boys within the bounds of the boys' weight classes, or there could be exclusive girls competition where they have the 12 girls classes.
People that aren't familiar need to realize that some schools may only have 1 or 2 girls in their program right now versus others that have 8 or 10. So their opportunities to wrestle may be very few if it's exclusively female to female. So they may want to wrestle in a boys invitational one weekend, and then later on in the year, there might be a girls team competition. Right now, the Coaches Association sponsors a girls championship at the end of the year. So for that championship, it would be the girls 12 weight classes, but for everything else, it would have to enter the boys.
Right. And what that will do, Greg, is they're trying new things, and wrestling just as a girl in the boys bracket, there's less gaps in between the weight classes. There may be some safety there. The other piece is one of the survey items on the triennial survey is, do they want us to sponsor a girls competition? So, that'll factor into that as well. Good point, Mark.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of accepting that recommendation and that motion, please signify by raising your right hand. Those opposed, like sign. That motion carries unanimously. Item 6.2.4, basketball. The Monroe County request to change districts. The recommendation is to accept the report and direct the item to be on the July agenda, with staff facilitating discussion with all 4th Region schools on both this request and other subsequent district balancing in terms of the number of teams. Is there a motion from Greg Howard, second from Russ Thompson? Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Those opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously. Item 6.3, member school administration issues. Item 6.3.1, the prime date basketball report. Simply just to accept that particular report. Do I have a motion to accept that report? Motion by Pete Galloway, second by Alvin Garrison. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Those opposed, like sign. That motion carries unanimously. Item 6.4, Constitution and bylaws issues. Item 6.4.1, address the sports physical exam. You see the commissioner's recommendation and report. Is there a motion to accept that report? Motion by Greg Howard, second by Debbie Biegler. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed, like sign. That motion carries unanimously. Item 6.4.2, the annual meeting proposals and discussions. The recommendation is to accept the concept as a first reading and direct staff to present final wording at the July Board of Control meeting. Is there a motion to accept that? Motion from Lucy Moore. I have a second. Second from James. Been a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on the annual meeting proposals and discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed, like sign. That motion carries unanimously. Item 6.4.3, Senate Bill 128 update. Simply the recommendation is to accept the commissioner's report. Is there a motion to accept that report? Motion by Larry Codorn. Is there a second? Second by Alvin Garrison. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by raising their right hand. All those opposed, like sign. Item 6.5, the officials division. 6.5.1 was the review of official fees for 2021 per schedule, which included baseball, softball, field hockey, volleyball, which were all deferred from 2020 due to COVID-19. The actual recommendation is to accept the recommended fee schedule to go in effect
For all sports.
for all sport in 21-22. Have a motion from Pete Galloway, a second from Trent Lovett. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed, like sign. Item 6.6, finance and administration. Item 6.6.1, the strategic plan through 2022 status preview. The only motion needed is to accept the strategic plan staff review that we will share and revisit again in July. Do I have a motion? Motion from Greg Howard. Do I have a second? Second from Alvin Garrison. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed, like sign. That motion carries unanimously. Item 6.6.2, the internal corporate sales report. Simply the recommended motion to accept that report that was given to us by Ms. Little this morning. Do I have a motion on that behalf? Motion from Alvin Garrison. Do I have a second? Second from Marlon Miller. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Billings, if it pleases. Judge again. Gosh dang it. Gosh dang it. If it pleases the board, we would like to put in the record the appreciation for Leah and all the years that she's done, if you don't mind.
I think that's appropriate. I think if you guys have an opportunity to call Leah and just let her know just how she has been appreciated. She's a very conscientious of how people feel about her. So if you will give her a call, if you have an opportunity to just maybe send her an email, a note or something, she would appreciate it. And as for the record, it is service that is well needed and well deserved and well appreciated, I hope.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Those opposed, like sign. That motion carries unanimously as well. Item 6.6.3, our schedule of meetings for 21-22. Just we need to accept that schedule following discussion and calendar review. Do I have a motion? Motion by Russ Thompson. Do I have a second? Second by Pete Galloway. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Those opposed, like sign. That motion carries unanimously. Item 6.6.4, the Review Hall of Fame Screening Committee information and date. We will be considering that on May the 17th. We'll get a time out to everybody through the scheduled event for a virtual screening committee meeting. Do I have a motion to accept that report? In that particular motion from Greg, I have a second. Second from Alvin. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed, like sign. That motion carries unanimously. Item 6.6.5, a report from April NFHS legal meeting radar. The motion is simply to accept that report that was given to us by the commissioner and council. Do I have a motion? Motion from Debbie Beekler. Do I have a second from Scott Hawkins? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Those opposed, like sign. That motion carries unanimously. Item 6.6.6, the NFHS summer meeting and professional development session. Simply to accept that report as presented by the commissioner. Do I have a motion? Motion from Greg Howard. Do I have a second? Seconded from Russ Thompson. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Those opposed, like sign. That motion carries unanimously. Item 6.6.7, the Commissioner's Report on Operations. Simply need a motion to accept that report that the Commissioner gave us during our work session. Motion from Pete Galloway. Have a second?
Mr. Demler.
Second from Mr. Demler. I'm sorry, I didn't see you. Any discussion on that report? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed, like sign. That motion carries unanimously. Item 6.6.8, to discuss the budget going forward into fiscal year 21-22. There were a lot of things that were discussed, a lot of major planned financial steps. Simply, our role is to accept a report and authorize operations through presentation at the next meeting. So motion made by Scott Hawkins, a second from Greg Howard. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Those opposed, like sign. That motion carries unanimously. Item 6.7, reports and information. As you'll see, 6.7.1 around the state and nation. Commissioner?
I encourage you to take the time after the meeting. I know. Dagnabbit. I encourage you to take the time to look over this stuff. We're going to try to work during the summer about a better way to repository it so you can see the current things. But I think it does give you a pretty good snapshot of things that are going on around the country, and maybe that in your area, Jimmy might think the only thing that's going on is the OHSAA, and he hears that Alabama's got the same problem. It might make you feel better. So please, we'll be glad to get you any information you need. Thank you.
I just need a motion to accept that report. Motion by Larry Codorn. And have a second. Second by Pete Galloway. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed, like sign. Item 6.7.2, transfers and appeals reports. I just need a motion to accept that report. Motion by Greg Howard, second by Trent Levitt. Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Mr. Couch, thank you. I know Dave.
David.
Just want to say thank you. We appreciate you coming. David with KDE is always with us and always here at every meeting. We certainly appreciate him. He's very, 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 very respondent to everything we need. Thank you. Item 7, confirm review and evaluation results and necessary action. I've never been a guy to blame stuff on COVID, but we kind of had a little bit of a mix up on how we were going to complete the commissioner's evaluation, and we got everybody's surveys back. Every board member surveyed and sent us information on the evaluation. They have been discussed in detail with the commissioner on couple different occasions. The evaluation was very positive. Some of the great responses were his communication abilities, his knowledge of high school athletics, his association with the National Federation of High Schools. It just goes on and on and on. He's committed today to stay through 2050. So some of you might be around then. I'm not sure I will be, but maybe Pete will still be here. But we did. It was a very positive evaluation. He responded to everything, every question we had for him, and just want to say it was. We're thankful for the job you do. We're thankful for the job you continue to do. And at this point in time, I will entertain any information for any questions or concerns or discussions from the board, as well as any changes or additions you would like to make to the commissioner's contract. Pete?
Normally we, after we have a very positive evaluation like like we did today, we vote to extend the commissioner's contract to a full 4-year contract. He has 3 years on this one here, I guess, and I wouldn't make that motion that we do roll that over one more time for a 4-year contract.
Motion on the floor is to roll the commissioner's contract over a year to complete a full 4-year contract. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second from Marlon. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed, like sign. That motion carries unanimously. 2050 is a long way off. I guess the next item of business, that concludes the general information. And I'd like to get back to something we've done for every board member meeting that I've been in, and that's go around the horn. So if you'd like to start in the back. Is that all right?
Yeah, wherever you want to go.
Rob, if you'd like to start with us.
Now I got to unmute. So no, it's sorry for the technical difficulties. I think we finally got it ironed out. I've got to do some splicing and stuff, but we'll get some stuff up on the YouTube channel. So it's great to see everybody, and safe travels back. Probably see you at some events coming up.
Good to see everyone. I'd just like to say thank you for those outgoing board members for your service, and welcome to our new board members as well. We'll hopefully get to talk more in July. See everybody at bass fishing. Take care.
Yes, thank you to our outgoing members and welcome to our new members. We're looking forward to seeing you this spring. And if we can do anything else, let us know. Thank you.
Thanks to the outgoing board members. Welcome to the new ones, and thank the current board members for your ongoing support. It's great to see everybody. Safe travels, and we will see you soon.
And welcome to the new board members, and thank you to the outgoing board members for your service, and appreciate everything and support from everyone.
Go Reds.
I'll agree with the Go Reds. Yeah, he picked the shirt. Well, I guess that joke never works because it's the same color. But just thanks to all the new board members and the outgoing. Looking forward to continuing our spree of championships at bass fishing the next couple days. And also, if anyone needs their headshot taken who brought the shirt and tie today, I will be available in what we call our green room over here. And anyone that needs to get that update or anticipated taking that today, glad to do it.
I certainly want to personally thank Trent, Scott, and Kim for all that they've done for this association. I'm pretty sure that when they all came onto the board, they had no idea what they were getting into, especially in light of the last year. And I know that everybody on staff and everybody around the schools appreciates everything that you guys do. We're excited for new folks that are coming on as well. And I always continue to encourage anytime you have any questions to give me a call. That goes for everybody, especially those board members that are leaving us, because I know you may not be around the table on a monthly basis, but I know we'll still see you out at events, and we certainly welcome your presence and hope you'll stay in touch. Thank you.
I'd also like to say thank you to the outgoing members of the board for your continued support and kind words. To the new board members, congratulations and welcome aboard. To everyone, I pray travel mercies for you and for your families.
Well, I'd like to say first that thanks for allowing me to serve. I really enjoyed the little we got to know each other through Zoom and all of that. I was only in for 1 year, and since then, I think we got a new member replacing me. So I want to take my hat off to Commissioner, you, your team, this board. It continues to amaze me the amount of, especially during a COVID year, the amount of things that were accomplished this year. And it's just, like I said, I'm thankful that you all allowed me to serve with you and continue the great work. You all are a great team. So thank you.
I want to thank Scott for a reflection. Job well done. Thank you. And thank you for your time, and everyone else going off the board, and welcome to new ones coming on. I also wanted to take the opportunity to thank the staff. I don't know that it's been talked about enough, but I just thought the state tournament was a awesome event to get us back to normalcy. I've lived a blessed life, but to be there with my family and to see you all, see friends that I hadn't got to see in a long time was truly a blessing. And thank you all for your great effort in pulling that off so successfully. And everyone have safe travels home.
Just want to thank this group for accepting me into this room, and thank you to the outgoing board members for your service. And this group of people here has done a lot for Kentucky high school sports, and it's a tough year, and but persevered, and it's from all this talent in this room right here. So hopefully here's to 2021, 22 to be a little more normal. So thank you very much.
I want to thank the outgoing board members. I remember coming in, you guys truly understand what kind of family this is, and you help the rest of us that are going to remain to understand what kind of family it is. And your new guys coming in, it is a family. It's pretty awesome. Commissioner, I want to thank you, the staff. You guys are top notch. I say it every year, and I'm going to keep saying it because you keep living up to that. And I'm always going to give a shout out to people that work like you guys do. That's unbelievable. And we all talk about it, and it's a great job. And I just want to give a shout out to all the athletic directors in our state that helped get us through there, because it was a monumental task, and what a great group of men and women that helped pull that off. And look forward to seeing everybody in July.
I too want to welcome our new members and to Alvin and Kim and Trent and Scott. Thank you for serving. Scott, you could just hear and feel the passion in your reflection, and thank you for serving. Thank you for doing the reflection too. As most of you know, Don and I got a little bump in our road. We'll know more about it the last of this month, and more what we're dealing with and how they're gonna deal with it. I appreciate it any time that you could lift her up in your prayers, thoughts and prayers. That would be appreciated. Thank all of you for what you do, especially for what you do for the kids in Kentucky.
This is my last meeting. I appreciate the opportunity to serve with each of you and get to know each one of you. I love the reflection talking about that $1,000 horse, that he's not going to be a $1,000 horse anymore. And we see that a lot in high school athletics, and that's what it's all about. Appreciate you guys.
I was going this way. Sorry. This is always a bittersweet time because we're having to say goodbye to some friends that we've made that we've enjoyed being with over this time, and so that's always hard. But then it's also happy to join our new family members that are coming on. So we appreciate them. Like everybody, I can't say enough about the commissioner and all the staff. What you all have been able to do in this challenged year has been amazing. And for somebody that gets real passionate about kids, I can't thank you enough, because what you've done is absolutely just well, it's unbelievable kind of that we were able to, but it's a good way to show that we don't give in. We're going to keep on going. Trent, well, your cheerleaders were wonderful. I was glad that it was so awful that year when I had to tell them, I'm sorry, you can't go out on the floor. So I was so glad that I got to escort them out there this year, and they're certainly represent your school well. Put Donna on our prayer list as soon as I got the message the night before. So we're thinking of her. Scott, it was funny that you mentioned about the horse and the atypical kind of horse, because at lunch, some of us were talking about how we don't do this because of the wins and losses. We do it because of those atypical kids that are going to get more out of being a part of athletics. And so they will be changed for good. And that's why it's important for us to do it. So I'm blessed to be a part of this family. Thank you.
The outgoing members, thank you guys. Seems like actually yesterday, back in July, when we first started first meeting, getting to know you guys and showing up, and didn't know really what I was getting into. Still trying to look for the guy that convinced me to run for this. But it's been a really great privilege serving with you guys. To the new guys that's coming on board, don't matter what they tell you guys that we will be done on time, it's a lie. That 11:45 number that's on there is just a number. I've yet to see 11:45 done first session, so just saying. To the staff, excellent job being around the state tournament, a little bit more than usual, closer. It was awesome. The way the state tournament ran, I thought was really good. Basketball, boys and girls tournament. And I think kind of what Greg said, a shout out to our athletic directors, our principals across the state, the things that they've done to allow our kids the opportunity to be able to play. We didn't know what was going to happen, what was going to, we just didn't know, and be able to accomplish the things that we were able to accomplish, the games that we were able to play. It's just a great job on their part to make sure it happened. So thanks.
I just echo those thoughts. Thank you to the outgoing members for your service. It's a very underappreciated job. I know that it pays well, but it's underappreciated. So thank you for your leadership. We got through this year, and it was you guys were a big part of that. So thank you for your leadership on that. Pleasure to get to know you guys, and hopefully that we can stay in touch and continue our relationship. So thank you guys. To the staff, the state tournaments that I did attend, awesome again. Appreciate all the stuff you guys do. I know it's again a lot of work that goes unnoticed, but it doesn't go unnoticed by us. So thank you for your work with the state championships, and stay safe, and see you guys in July.
I'd like to start with thanking our commissioner. Leading us through COVID was, I really don't have a lot of words for this one, but I don't think anybody could have ever done it better than Commissioner Tackett. Along with that being said, our associate and our assistant commissioners, tremendous job. Had 3 jobs at the same time and carried off everything wonderfully. The staff, fantastic. I definitely miss our outgoing members. We've built some really great relationships, and I know you'll still be around. And on Scott's reflection, fantastic, like normal. He articulates great passion in such a great way, other than forgetting that quote. But I could have never even started the quote, so couldn't help you. But just, I miss y'all dearly, and look forward to meeting the new members. I've met a few already, and seems like great people, and that's what this board is all about, being great people, taking care of the kids. That's pretty much all I have. Thank you.
I want to say thanks to our outgoing board members, gotten very close, very friends, and appreciated your insights. And like sitting by the two of you, especially you, Trent, we've enjoyed those years talking and getting to know each other. You new board members, welcome. You will find you will end up loving this group of people because they are here for the right reasons. We all made tough decisions this year for kids, and that's what it was for. And I appreciate the staff. Going back to a basketball tournament, that was the last thing I took my granddaughter to, and getting to walk down there, and it felt normal. And seeing the kids smiling and stuff, that was the best thing. So I appreciate that. Daryl, I know you've had a hard year, but you did a good job as a president, helping us and guiding us through this. And JT, we would never finish this year if it wasn't for your wisdom. Everybody be safe on the way home.
To our new board members, welcome. I think you will find this will be one of the best groups of people you ever get to work with, and you will certainly enjoy it. To my fellow outgoing board members, it has been a pleasure. I thank the world of Mr. Lovett, Mr. Garrison, and Miss Parker Brown. Trent and I actually started down this superintendent road together in 2008. And so we've known each other a long time. But I said really what I needed to say earlier. So safe travels, and I look forward to seeing you at future state championships.
I just want to say thank you for accepting me and helping me through coming into this role. And I just appreciate all of you all. And I know that these decisions, they can get hard at times. But as a former athlete, I really appreciate it. Being a high school athlete was some of the best times of my high school career. So big reason why I got into this field and this career to begin with. So I just say thank you. And I just thanks for bearing with me at times coming into this position. So thanks to all of you all, and I look forward. I love getting to know those who are just now going out, and look forward to getting to know more of you all. So thank you.
I've enjoyed getting to meet a few of you today, but I want you guys to know that for the last year, you guys have become YouTube stars to most of the state from a high school athletics standpoint. So I feel like I know a lot of you probably better than what I should at this point, but very appreciative of your time and your service, the work of everybody, the decisions the board had to make, the efforts of the staff at all times. And then Scott for the job that he's done as I'll be stepping into his role for the next term, for his time and for the other outgoing board members. And I'm just looking forward to getting to know all of you better and working with you to do what's best for kids and athletes in this state.
Yeah, I'm grateful for the opportunity to join your family. Have a lot of people in here I already know, and some I've gotten to know better from last night and today, and looking forward to that opportunity moving forward. I just have utmost respect for everybody in this room. I've been one of those people on YouTube watching you a lot, and I just want to commend every one of you for obviously as superintendents, we've made a lot of tough decisions this year, but you guys have been right up there with us and had to make some very difficult calls. And I just have utmost respect for you guys and the way you were able to get our kids back on the court, on the field, and having those opportunities, as Kara said, to impact their lives like no other time. So look forward to the upcoming years to work with you guys. I'll work on that.
had both sides of the aisle fight us in one shape or the other when it comes to politics. We've had friends we thought were friends turn the other direction because they thought we were doing the wrong thing. But ultimately, through the state championships we've had and the kids that have participated, I think it's pretty obvious we did the right thing. It wasn't easy, wasn't painless, wasn't cost-free, but we did the right thing. And I think that's a tribute to everybody sitting in this room. First 3 years I was on this board, we never had a negative vote. I mean, it was all unanimous. It was just boom, 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 boom. It's just, you could just, it's amazing to see the differences in opinions that, we had a 9-6 vote today. I mean, it's amazing to see how, as a group, we can all disagree, but yet sit down and eat lunch together and communicate with each other and ask about each other's families day after day after day. It's amazing how we can come from different parts of our Commonwealth and continue to agree on the same thing that, together we play. And we were able to accomplish that this year, partly because of the leadership of Julian Tackett, partly because of the staff that he retains. I can't tell you what a great job. I mean, I've only got to go to a couple, 3 or 4 state tournament events this year, but they've all been fantastic. Never missed a beat, never missed a hiccup, always what they were supposed to be. And I can't say enough about thank yous to that. To our outgoing board members, there's some relationships there I've forged for life. Scott, thank you for the reflection. I think it was pretty evident about the passion you have with kids and the things you do. Can't ask that any more of that from any more board member on this group. And I think you're going to find that we'll all be board member emeritus. We'll always have a shoulder we can call, somebody we can talk to about. And it's nice to know that you guys are all there and will continue to be there. Lastly, but not least, definitely not least, we don't appreciate what's going on out there with some of our coaches and some of our ADs. I know I today voted against some of the wishes of our coaches, I'm sure. And I'm sure at some point in time, 9 of us will probably hear that. But we made a decision as a board. We stood by that decision, and it's all in the best interest of the 84,000 student athletes that we serve. And I hope they will understand that and hope that it's for the betterment of those 84,000 kids and not just something we took light and took for granted. Thank you for everything you guys have done across this last year. I've really enjoyed it. It's not been the best year, funnest year of all, but I'm getting ready to have some fun the next couple of years. So you incoming chairman, you better get ready. But thank you so much. Safe travels home, and we look forward. Oh, we're going to play golf too the Thursday before our meeting on the 22nd. If you're interested in playing in a group, we'll just kind of all get together, and we'll Greg's going to help us get some stuff taken care of in Northern Kentucky. If you'll let me know by Monday so we know exactly how we're going to do that, I'd appreciate it. Just give me a call or text, email me or something. Let me know what you're interested in playing. We'll try to play early that afternoon so we can all be ready for our evening, for the dinner that evening. So if you'll let me know, I'd appreciate it. Thank you very much. Safe travels.
Well, he's asked me to go last, and the first thing I've got to do is take off at least one of these masks, because this year has been a strange year. And I take off this mask, and I think about Sherry Duff, who's the principal of the who lost her soulmate, Coach Ty Scroggins, to COVID. And got the mask that they put out as a campaign when he was in the hospital. And I think of the 11 other people that I personally know, and all the people talking about things being fake and things being this. And I kind of want to pull a Jethro Gibbs on them. Those of you that watch NCIS, just lay my hand gently on their shoulder and pop them right in the back of the neck and just say, it didn't escape us. So it's been a challenging year. I will say this, for those of you that just now got to sit through, I think Joe might have been the one talking. It was not dramatic effect. Every day at 3 o'clock, they're blasting for the new hospital over there by Costco, and we feel it. It rumbles every day. So yeah, it's. I thought Joe was just doing it for dramatic effect, but I guess not. I'm thankful, and I've got 3 or 4 notes here, so bear with me. I'm thankful that you all each know so much more about our schools and what our kids need, especially than every reporter trying to make a name for himself that's got a Twitter account, even in the last few hours. I'm thankful that you dig into issues and you don't really care because you're kid-centered. It's okay. I told you the day you all let me go, it will be because I've gone too far with the whole mantra that do things for kids. If the adults are happy, that's a side benefit. It's not the objective. Service the kids first and we'll all be better off. Only problem I've got with some of the things that was said, as a matter of fact, one of the remarks Kara made, my trouble is that she was only in high school, it seemed like a couple of years ago. So I'm constantly reminded of the world is getting younger. I do want to especially ask on two different scales of magnitude. I want to ask that you keep Donna Galloway first in your thoughts. The finest ladies ever to walk the earth. And the girl that sat up in front of here with us for a number of years is having her own issues. They're not to that magnitude. I'm not trying to compare them. But, when you start having issues with your ticker, you ought to worry. So give Marilyn a text. She'd love to hear from you. As we continue to try to pray for her recovery and going on. I thought about maybe the motion for the adjournment should include a motion to permanently break up the remote COVID meeting area. Because if you don't make it, it's going to be ordered in the morning. We're going to get rid of this. Y'all remember growing up and watching when Walter Cronkite came on and they were talking about the peace talks, and it was this great big table over in Phnom Penh or somewhere. That's kind of what I'm like, gosh, dog, it's just too bad. I'll be glad we can break this up and in the fall, see you guys in a crowded theater where we're all sitting around the table and talking and trying to figure out what somebody just said. I especially thank Daryl and Marlon and Pete. Daryl and Pete specifically drew short straw in the years that, Pete's should have been worried about what he wore to break Bonnie Barnes's record for most trophies presented. And we shut down the spring. And then he wasn't going to hold it very long because Daryl was going to break it after that. And we had the issues this year with COVID and attendance. But, and Marlon's done a fantastic job as well as president-elect. I think that it's tough to, leaders show themselves through, as I've told you all before. People, I bet you I can tell you, every one of you that supervise people in your district, people have shown themselves this year. Some good, some not so good. They've shown you their capabilities, and that's probably true everywhere we've gone. So it has been, it continues to challenge us going forward. I'm glad that you continue to prioritize the 94%. My line and joke will always be that the NCAA website talks about 6% of people, 6% go from high school athletics to collegiate athletics. Now, I realize that 94% of their families think their kids the 6%, but you look at the whole 100%. And you talk today, in all the discussion about what somebody wanted with scheduling and what somebody wanted with bracketing, two of you made the point. Sometimes it's about the experience of the game environment too. And you never fail to interject those points. Those are always great reminders. To Trent and Scott and Kim and Alvin, remember, this is not your last time, because that night, the 22nd, when we have a little dinner, we're going to recognize you, and we'll have a little opportunity for you to perhaps have some rebuttal to things that might have been said. And I'm kind of thinking that if there's a little early afternoon golf, the rebuttal might get entertaining. So I encourage you all to participate if you can, but thanks to all four, regardless of whether your service was 1 year or 8, it was without parallel in terms of your commitment, absolutely going forward. But don't forget about that recognition on the 22nd. On behalf of 3,900 people, and it'll be 4,200 when I get our supervisor to re-engage a little bit more aggressively. I'm teasing him, of course. What you did today for officials plants a seed for getting us where we need to be to provide staff for the games. It's easy to say, we just don't have $5 a game. We just don't have $7 a game. And we've had to do that before. It's not going to be popular. There's going to be people bring it up that it's a problem. But you may have begun, and Daryl asked the operative question earlier, is it enough? You may have begun the process of stabilizing that. Like it or not, it's not any fun when everybody calls their own. After playing in college and playing in a gym for about 20 years after that, call your own doesn't work. And we dang sure don't need it at the high school level. So like it or not, our answer is not to criticize and hang the ones we've got. It's to create an environment that would get better ones coming behind them. So I appreciate that step you took. That'll pay dividends. Please let Kara know if you're going to the NFHS meeting. Look at the material. Try to let us know in a few days, because what we'll try to do is book a bulk of rooms together to where we don't have to get into all the confusion of paying and reimbursement and all this stuff. Was go ahead and let us know when you're going, when you're coming, and we can try to figure that piece out. She's not been through that, but we'll make sure she doesn't drown. We'll make sure she gets that information out to you. Then I gotta say two more things. It might get a little tough. First of all, this position, no matter who's in it, gets way too much credit, way too much blame. But that's part of being in that position. Probably happens to Larry Coldirn. Probably happens to Scott Hawkins. Probably happens to Trent Levitt. You're wise when you recognize that. And you say, because without this group around this table, including you all, but the back group, we don't do a thing. We don't do a thing this year. And I know there was a couple of months that everybody was really antsy, trying to figure out, are we going to get to do anything? And I watched these other states say they weren't going to do it. And I talked to leadership and I talked to you all on this board, and they said, chart us a course, come up with a course. We had to make a couple of corrections. You all made a couple of course corrections, but we said we were going to do it. And now we're watching other states and the fallout from not getting to play, the mental health problems, the suicide rates, all the other things that's coming up. It does mean something, folks. It's not just a game. Everything we do. I don't care if they're in a non-contact standalone, activity. I have to say this. One of the quotes of the day is when staff made a comment earlier that despite being in a pandemic that, esports participation was a little bit down. And my first reaction was, you'd think this would be the year to be up. But somebody reminded me, no, they're playing all the time. They're just burnt out now. And that's probably a pretty good point. But you all look at each thing individually, and you have to. It'd be nice to put all 20 activities or sports in a cookie cutter box, but that doesn't work. Who would have thought, Lucy, I would point to Lucy and say this, who would have thought for all of us that have been drug around to cheerleading competitions all these years that we'd be excited about a state competition in May, but we just wanted a chance. When can we do it? And you help navigate. But like I said, this staff, man, it's a fantastic team. And I thank you for letting me be coach of them. Because they got to sometimes run the pattern, and I got to be willing to let them run the wrong pattern. And that may happen, but I really appreciate your continued faith, and we've got some time left to do some good things. Last thing I'm going to leave you with, Scott stole my thunder, but I'm not going to use a horse analogy, but it's going to be close. Always carried a little padfolio when I was a kid. Debate team and co-ed Y stuff. I always thought that was cool anyway, but had this little padfolio, and inside it was a little Edgar A. Guest poem that my mother had given me till the day she died. And I put that in her at her house the day we said goodbye to her. I had this as just something you got to think about. And I think it's what this entire room did this entire year. Leave you with you real quick. Somebody said it couldn't be done, but he with a chuckle replied, and maybe it couldn't, but he'd be one who wouldn't say so till he tried. So he buckled right in with a trace of a grin on his face. If he worried, he hit it. He started to sing as he tackled the thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. Don't ever forget that. Don't let anybody tell you we can't, ever, because you always can if you work together. And this group, great point. It don't matter if it's 9-6. Leaving here 18-0 understanding and staff understanding. That's the marching orders, just like when other things were done this year. So I appreciate it very, very much. I hope you do travel safely. I hope they're not blowing anything else up at the new hospital, and I hope we never have to use that new hospital. With anything else, Mr. Billings, with anything else, I think it's in your hands. And Mr. Henderson doesn't understand. He's off the hook today, but normally the furthest member away has to make that motion to adjourn.
Well, if that be the case, I'll take a motion for Mr. Lovett to adjourn.
Yeah,
And a second
there we
for
go.
Mr. Hawkins.
There you go.
Motion been made and seconded. And Mr. Garrison, there's 2 seconds on that.
There we go.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign.